Okay, so before I start out this video, I just want you guys to understand what my channel is really about and how I'm really coming at this personally. So, I'm no sports journalist, I'm not a sports analyst or aficionado of sports as much as I am a fan of basketball and NBA basketball, especially. And I just like to dish out my opinions out there, and I love it when people criticize me or tell me that I'm wrong because it allows me to learn other perspectives that I would have otherwise never learned if I didn't do this channel. So, the video with Seku, I think there was a lot of drawback to what I was saying, and I think, looking back, that a lot of what I said back then wasn't so accurate. So I'll give you guys that, and I did learn a lot from those comments and the Knicks videos, man. Oh man, oh man, that rubbed some people the wrong way. But I understand. I'm coming out here with this negative energy, so of course people are gonna feel some type of way, and thankfully some of the commenters were real nice about it actually. And shout out to Ralph. You know who you are. I'll show you a tag right here. Man, that guy's nice, man. That guy's cool. Okay, so now let's get into the video itself. Foul baiting. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy the NBA is actually doing something to address this nonsense. Okay, this nonsense has to stop, guys. I don't think many people understand. I don't think the casuals understand how bad the rules are, okay? How the players are abusing the rules to fit their own play, okay? So these rules give an incentive to the players to, draw fouls in ways that are very unnatural. And you see this from players like Luka and Damian Lillard, and the two players that are the most guilty of this being Trey Young and James Harden. You got guys that foul bait like it's nobody's business. They do all sorts of things to get fouls, and man, is it horrible to watch. Okay, so let's get into it, folks. The NBA released a thread on August 8th on Twitter, basically summing up what the rules would essentially be and what the NBA referees are going to do if they were to come across a player doing those very tactics to get a foul. And I have to say, I'm rather optimistic about these rule changes. And I know you can't be too optimistic when it comes to the NBA and how they officiate because they're going to find a way to F it up at some point. But I'm still approaching this with optimism because it really does sound like they're going to crack down on this time. It sounds like they're going to get their shit together. And so let's get into the tweets. So the NBA says here, beginning with summer leagues and effective for the 2021-2022 season, game officials will enforce the playing rules in a manner that reduces the incentive for offensive players to use non-basketball moves to draw fouls. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. They're coming at this from the right perspective, okay? Because these plays are not basketball plays. This isn't basketball. When you watch these guys do the very things they do to get a foul, you come at this saying, what kind of a league is this? What kind of a sport is this that allows these type of fouls to be drawn? And honestly, man, it ruins the game. And I love that the NBA is straight up calling it out, saying it's not basketball. Stop it. Okay, so let's continue. Overt non-basketball moves used by offensive players to initiate contact with defenders will include when the shooter launches or leans into a defender at an abnormal angle. Beautiful, beautiful. The offensive player abruptly veers off his path sideways or backwards into a defender. Trey. We all know that's calling out Trey, man. We all know. He has a propensity to do this, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying. He even does it behind the half court, which is so dumb. It's just so insane that the NBA has been allowing him to do this for so long. And I'm not saying Trae Young is a bad player because of it, like he's a scrub or whatever, but I'm saying this type of officiating and this type of behavior should not be incentivized. And unfortunately, for so long, the NBA has allowed these types of behaviors to be widespread because Trae Young clearly isn't the only one doing this, and clearly other players are catching on that these types of behaviors are going to benefit you in the long run. But not anymore. Moves by offensive players that would meet this criteria will also include when the shooter kicks his legs up or to the side at an abnormal angle. Beautiful. Just expanding the Reggie Miller rule, but now including when shooters kick their legs, okay? It doesn't have to be a shooter with his legs up. Now, just kicking his leg at an abnormal angle now is something that's going to be very much a penalty and is not going to be rewarded anymore. The offensive player's off-arm hooks the defender, often in the process of attempting a shot in a non-basketball manner. James Harden, we're all looking at you, man. We all know that's directed at James Harden. Man, does he love that move. That move is so annoying. I've been calling this stuff out since 2018. I know I'm pretty late to the party, even back then, because James Harden has been doing this so much. In a way, he's a pioneer. He's the one that's actually started to do this to where it was so effective that other players caught on to that. Now I know the pump fake and then go lean into the player wasn't James Harden's doing. I know D Wade's been doing that longer than him. And I know players have known about these loopholes ever since the rule changes have benefited the offensive player to this extent. Now speaking of which, now we get into a fourth tweet where the NBA now starts showing clips of what is deemed not acceptable anymore. Okay, so they followed this up by saying this play should result in a no call, as the offensive player leans into the defensive player at an abnormal angle, but the contact was marginal. If the offensive player had initiated more than marginal contact, an offensive foul would be the correct call. Yes! Amazing. This play that people have been calling out for so long is now considered not only a no call when the player doesn't even touch him to that extent, but when the player creates contact to where it's so abnormally absurd, that would be called an offensive foul. Finally, we get to see players being penalized for these type of plays. I love it. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. And now another clip. An offensive foul should be called on this play as the offensive player uses his right shoulder and hip to dislodge the defender, and the offensive player lands outside his normal floor position. Beautiful. They're explaining this in such a good way to where even the people that didn't have much of a problem with this would see how this is a problem. Now, Curry, of course, in this play, he knows the rules and he knows how this could benefit the offensive player to where he could do plays like this. I can't believe this is something the NBA has allowed for so long. Wow, I am so happy, man. I'm crying right now. Tears of joy, by the way. On this play, the shooter kicks his leg up at an abnormal angle to initiate contact with the defender. An offensive foul should be called on this play. Oh my goodness. Dylan Brooks, man, I know I love you, bro, but that shit is disgusting. I hate when. Oh my gosh. He even tripped him as well, man. He fell down before. Man, that should be a flagrant, man, now that I'm looking at it, bro. That's a flagrant right there, bro. Let's be honest. Okay, and now we got our last tweet here. This play should result in a no call, as the offensive player's off arm hooked the defender's arm in the process of abruptly attempting a shot in a non basketball manner, but did not impede the defender's ability to continue defending the play. Okay, so that makes sense. It's a no call. And if it's a no call, then that would make it that a player would not be incentivized to do these type of plays anymore. To where the NBA doesn't even have to penalize them because the players know that this won't even benefit them, and the worst that's gonna happen is them putting up an awful shot that's not gonna go in. So I actually like this. It's good to have a no call be the basis now instead of them just calling a foul outright because that just eliminates the incentive. And that's what it's all about, really. That's what the NBA should have been doing for years. I don't know why they are so late to the party, but I guess it took a lot of people complaining and a lot of years of the NBA having to hear those complaints for them to actually do something about it. And now, let's just hope that the league is better off for it, and let's hope that we get to watch more entertaining games because of it.